How you doing, everyone? This is Matthias Atva from Dreadnought, your Dreadnought PS4 replay guy. Well, it's March 29th and the end of the month, which means it's time for another Dreadnought and YouTube channel update. We don't have much news to report from 6foot or Greybox as far as the Dreadnought game goes, so this one will be a little shorter than some of my previous updates and rants, but I feel there is still a lot to talk about as far as the direction and future of the Dreadnought game. As usual, I will have a replay in the background of this update. This time around it's a legendary Gora replay. And towards the end I'll update you on what's happening with the Dreadnought channel and what we can expect in the future. First things first, we're up to 113 subscribers for the channel, which is pretty awesome considering how relatively small our community is and how focused this channel is on the game of Dreadnought. I want to thank all my subscribers, especially the ones that have been with me since the beginning, like Vasilius and Sharky, the Dreadnought fans that make my comment section so awesome and entertaining, like Jason, Manny, Shane, Frame, D-Bart, James, Curtis, Patricio, and of course Antonio, and so many more. And I'd like to say thanks to some of the new subscribers to the channel like King Tim, FPS, Marlin, Big Sims, and a whole bunch more. On top of all that, I have many longtime fans from the Dread Chat like Persistent Flame, Scroat, Blitz Necro, Nuke, Neos, and many others who may not make themselves known but are starting to contribute a lot to the channel behind the scenes. There's 113 of you, so I can't name everyone or we'll be here for hours, but thank you all. I hope to keep this channel up as long as we all share an interest in Dreadnought, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So what's new this month for Dreadnought? The only official news we have is that most players have been awarded around a week or so of elite status for the server downtime, which was announced on Twitter last Monday. So if you haven't logged on in the last week, go ahead and get yourself some free elite status. Speaking of which, the big event that happened in March was of course the server hardware update, which lasted almost 2 weeks. Although little is known about why the update took place, the Dreadnought development team and maintenance crew did a great job of keeping us in the loop and informed with almost daily progress reports. This is in stark contrast to the past, where our community has been left in the dark. No one seems to know what exactly was upgraded, seeing as there are no new game features, patches, or market items. However, there are rumors that the maintenance downtime had to do with the server lease that was to expire in October 2019. Since these are rumors, I don't want to call out the sources or pass on any information as definite fact, but this may indicate that the game was moved to another server and that the game will exist under a new lease past October, which is great news for us all. But this is just speculation, and again, these are just rumors. What is known is that there has been no new delivered content and no word on the future of Dreadnought. Whether this is because of the rumors that Greybox and 6foot have no development team and are essentially running on life support is unknown, but I'd like to talk about this topic a little in March's update. At the time of the Legends Redefined release and just before the Twitch streaming for Dreadnought stopped, there was officially released news about new market items such as even more awesome looking retrofit skins, the return of game modes to PC and PS4, especially the long-awaited and much-missed custom match mode and Conquest, at least one new PvP map, and the Dreadnought class overhaul starting with Corvettes. A question I have to ask is, even if Greybox doesn't have the funds for brand new development, why can't we get this content we know has already been completed but not released? Examples of this are of course the retrofit skins that have had images leaked on social media, the new map which was already supposed to have been completed, and the return of game modes that were once already working, such as custom matches and conquest. All the while, we still have no answer for a single-player mode or campaign, further new map development, or any new market items or balance patches. Although the game is much more stable than during the Steam launch or the dreaded black screen crisis, the PS4 community still has many occasional bugs and stability issues that need to be addressed. On top of all this, there are some logical and troublesome questions I have about the financial viability of the game. The current intended financial model for Dreadnought calls for a certain number of players to pay for elite status every month. But I'd like to point out that I know many players such as Scroat, Persistent Flame, and of course the venerable and legendary Nuclear Inferno that already have all 15 Tier 5 ships and all the modules they need to play top-tier competitive games. What motivation is there for those players to buy elite status? I spend most of my money in Dreadnought on cosmetic items, but as I get closer to owning all 15 Tier 5 ships as well, I started getting elite status mainly to generate more green credits to pay for modules. But after I research and purchase the Zame, what motivation will I have to get elite status except to support the game's future? Speaking of market items, I already have the ones I want, so what motivation do I have to spend money in the market? Lower level players have every motivation to buy elite status for this awesome game, but many times newer players drop out because there is a lack of practice and training opportunities or single player content. All newer players have to look forward to is being bullied by more experienced players. I do have some small suggestions to generate more revenue, chief of which is a single player content strategy, more maps, DLC content, and making market items cheaper and more accessible. For instance, I believe most hero ships aren't worth the money, but I love the ship skins. Why doesn't Dreadnought just make the hero ship skins available for the same price as the retrofit skins without having to purchase the rest of the content for hero ships? And speaking of the retrofits, I know for a fact that at least 5 retrofits were completed in total, if not more, yet only one has been released in the market. In fact, why not keep the basic Dreadnought game free to play, but sell additional downloadable content in the form of additional game modes, maps, or a single player mode? That way, players who are capable of financially supporting the game, or players that have already invested more than their fair share, can still enjoy the game, while players who are willing to support the game or who are looking for a new gameplay experience can aid the devs in making new content for the game. So how can we help? Some players say that if the game is dying, why spend money on it? Others pump gold into the game week after week hoping it'll make a difference. I think we should have a more balanced approach. If you play the game a lot for free, maybe you can fit $10 to $20 a month into your budget. That's pretty reasonable, as that's basically one meal at a restaurant or a few cups of coffee at Starbucks. But I think the most important thing you can do right now is play the game, get people you know to play the game, and give 6-Foot and Graybox more feedback. We have such a strong and awesome community, but most of this community seems very silent on the matter. I personally think the devs were listening to a vocal minority of the player base and not our giant silent majority. Be sure to check the Dreadnought forums out at least once a week, report issues and bugs, and start telling the devs how you feel about the game and share your ideas with others in our community. So, okay, what's new with Direct Dreadnought? Well, unfortunately there is a lot I have planned and not so much time lately to get it done. I have a lot of great new content on the back burner, but the last couple of weeks I've been traveling to Vermont and Connecticut for work. 2 beautiful states, by the way, and that's saying something considering I'm from upstate New York, one of the most beautiful areas in the US. But between work and my cat Millie's surgery, I've been struggling to get more than 2 to 3 videos out per week. I do have some more free time scheduled soon, and I have about 6 non-replay projects I'm working on. First of all, I have the unidentified Freedom Object video, which I think many of you will enjoy. I have a new tactics video planned, but I might merge this one with another up-and-coming video. 2 videos you'll be seeing soon is a continuation of the How to Beat the Best series, which is something I've felt really motivated to work on lately. They'll feature Scroat and the Space Apes, and they'll focus on how to get better game results in Dreadnought by either using good squad work or how to counter an experienced Dreadnought squad. On the back burner, we have the next 2 videos in the Dreadnought lore series, but it may be a couple of weeks before I can get those anywhere near done. And last but not least, I almost have all 15 Tier 5 ships in Dreadnought, and as of tonight, I'm only 4 modules away from that goal. Next week sometime, I will release a quick personal video showcasing all 15 ships with their skins, paint jobs, and builds. That about sums up the Dreadnought March 2019 update. I tried to keep it short this time, but don't worry, as soon as I hear any news about Dreadnought, I'll be posting on the channel as soon as possible. Well, that's it from me for now, and I'll see you soon in Sinley Bay.